Miami Heat have to do whatever it takes to get Terry Rozier off this team. The Miami Heat have been in contact with several teams around the league trying to trade Terry Rozier, including the Washington Wizards, the Utah Jazz, and the Chicago Bulls. The Heat have been actively exploring trade options for Terry Rozier. I know a lot of people saw these trade rumors. Some people within the Heat organizations weren't sure if Marcus Smart was a clear upgrade over Terry Rozier, which he is, because he's a great system player, great defender. Obviously, he's a lot older. He's not the Marcus Smart from Boston, but I would obviously rather have him on this Miami Heat team. We've had plenty of battles with Marcus Smart. Sources say Miami has explored the feasible of trading away veteran guard Terry Rozier this offseason. Jake says Miami weighed a Rozier for Smart swap but could not reach an organizational consensus on whether such a trade was a clear upgrade. Now, I know a lot of people were also reporting too is that they want to draft capital as well for taking Terry Rozier, and that's what we're not going to do. We are not going to be giving up assets. We already gave up a first-round pick for Terry. We cannot continue to give up first- and second-round picks to either get off of players or to get players that we really want, which this whole trade has blown up in our face. But like I said, if this investigation with Terry Rozier goes through, I'm going to need my first-round pick back from the Charlotte Hornets. The Miami Heat have some decisions that need to be made. So the report is the Heat are continuing to monitor bigs with NBA experience. Seems like the Miami Heat are actively trying to trade Terry Rozier since they're in the luxury tax territory. So far, he's been linked to the Kings, the Wizards, and the Bulls. Getting one of DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, or Monk would get them just below the luxury tax threshold. Needed to happen soon. And I think for sure Vucevic is the best option. We need a backup big desperately. Bro, with Wiggins, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Norman Powell, that's enough offense for me. We have athleticism. We have youth. Now all we need is to finish up with the size. We have enough playmaking. I think everything for the most part has been addressed besides that backup big. Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo, they cannot do everything by themselves, and we're going to need to make a move to get Terry Rozier off this roster. Per Brent Siegel, one team that could still use some frontcourt help this offseason is the Miami Heat. Not only does this fit make sense because Achua can play behind Bam Adebayo and improve his all-around game, but former Knicks big man recently purchased a 2-bedroom condo in South Beach. Miami has an open roster spot, and they can sign Achua without crossing their first apron hard cap. Now, obviously, Precious Achua, he unfortunately didn't work out for the Miami Heat their first go-around. But it's like what Brent Siegel said. I wouldn't mind having him back on the roster. Not only does he fit the timeline, but I think he's a way better player. Don't get me wrong. Spoelstra had him in the doghouse. Everybody was on him sometimes because he had butterfingers, but he's athletic, great rim runner, decent defender, and he's an energy guy. I wouldn't mind having him on this roster, especially with this whole young guy movement. Why not take him on a cheap deal? So Tim McMahon and Brian Windhorst on the Miami Heat taking the over on 37 wins. I don't like betting on the Heat to be a losing team. I think Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Norman Powell, and Andrew Wiggins in the Eastern Conference, they won't have the Jimmy Saga folding and sucking the life out of the team in the first half. Obviously, I don't have to talk about Spo's credentials. I'm going to take the over. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Miami Heat. Once again, the East is wide open. As long as they're able to stay healthy, I think this Miami Heat team is going to be great. I just think we have to be patient. And once again, the fact that the East is wide open, I'm not really worried about any of these teams. They have to prove it to me in the Eastern Conference Finals. And like I always tell everybody, these are the seasons where we look back and we're like, bro, how did they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? These are the types of seasons. We have scoring, athleticism. All we have to improve on is our size. And we're going to take the cards from there.
To be a losing team this year. They make the move to get Norm Powell is their big offseason move. Losing team.
I don't like
Brandon this year.
I don't like betting on the Heat to be a losing team. I know they were last year. I don't know, man. I think Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Norm Powell in the Eastern Conference, they won't have the Jimmy Saga unfolding and sucking the soul out of the team for the first half of the season. Obviously, I don't have to talk about Spo's credentials as a head coach. I'm going to take the over here.
This is one topic I am so tired of talking about. D-Wade clears James Harden and Allen Iverson. He is the third best shooting guard of all time. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and D-Wade. So Gilbert Arenas on D-Wade versus James Harden. Consensus has Wade at 3. The only pushback would be Allen Iverson. If there's a debate, it's between AI and Wade. I'll put Wade in front of Harden just because of how he played. We watched glimpses of his dominance before Shaq. We seen what he could have maxed out being. Even in the Olympics, he was impactful on the rock star team. At the end of the day, if D-Wade didn't have all those knee injuries, he would be even better. If he was worried about stats and all that stuff instead of championships, bro, his resume would be insane. But of course, those knee injuries, shoulder injuries definitely slowed him down. But first of all, D-Wade clears AI and clears James Harden defensively alone. He is arguably, if not the best shot blocking guard of all time. The stuff that D-Wade was doing, Allen Iverson and James Harden are not doing defensively. I'm sorry. Obviously, when it comes to the oohs and the ahs and the crossovers, yeah, of course you can give that to AI and James Harden. But is that really winning basketball? Is that going to get you anywhere? All I'm saying is that D-Wade is not garbage. And I feel like a lot of people forget about how good he really was. They forget how he won a championship so young. And then, of course, they're going to try to diminish. Oh, but he had Shaq. And Kobe had Shaq. All these other players had... Bro, James Harden has had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. What more could he really ask for? You need great players to win championships. But D-Wade is the best third shooting guard of all time, and I don't want to hear anything about it.